Hey everyone, Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video we're taking a look at these adjustable rear upper camber arms fitting 2011 to 2023 Chargers. Getting your alignment right is absolutely critical for ride quality, handling, stability, and the overall longevity of your vehicle. Now this kit that we have here today is going to give you plenty of adjustability to get your Charger aligned exactly the way you want it and get it dialed in perfectly to suit your needs. Whether we're talking about a daily driver, a lower race car, or anything in between, these arms are going to give you the flexibility you need without breaking the bank. Now Chargers by their nature have a bit of negative camber built into their rear suspension. It's a function of being based off of an older Mercedes platform. Now if you're not familiar with the term, camber is the angle at which the wheel and tire sit in reference to the body. Negative camber, which is the most common, means that if you're looking at the car straight on, the tops of the wheels will tilt in toward the inside of the car. Positive camber is the opposite, bottom of the wheel is tilted in. Now positive camber is just not helpful in most cases. However, negative camber can be, as when you huck the car into a corner, the suspension is going to load up, more of your tire is going to come into contact with the road. And like most things in life, camber angle is a compromise. Too much, you're going to have great in-corner grip, but straight line stability will be compromised, and you'll chew through your rear tires. Ask me how I know. Now, not enough negative camber and you're going to run into stability issues when turning at speed. Now, Chargers in factory form don't have a way to adjust that rear camber, which is where these guys come in. So these are effectively going to take the place of your stock rear upper control arms, and they can be adjusted, dial in exactly the amount of camber that you need. So if you're lowering your car or you've already done it, this is definitely something you're going to want to pick up, as it's going to help correct for that excessive negative camber angle that comes with lowering the car and avoiding all that stuff we were just talking about. Plus, you get a serious handling benefit, as nothing handles quite as well as a car with a spot-on alignment and a little dose of negative camber at the rear. Now, these are going to make things much easier to get dialed in, and you do get several degrees of adjustment in either direction to make sure your alignment is absolutely spot on. Also included are new sleeved hardened rubber bushings, which are going to allow for a lot less deflection and better response than your standard bushings as well. So between the adjustability and the lack of deflection, you're going to get a better handling, better driving Charger that you can enjoy in more situations. Now the arms themselves are made using heavy-duty tubular steel with this nice dark red powder coat over top. That's going to mean that they're strong, they're durable, and the powder coat helps their resistance to rust and corrosion. The red color also just makes them look cool, and it's a bit of a shame that they're not that easy to see once they're mounted on the car. The bushings we were talking about too are again made from hardened rubber, and they're sleeved as well, so they're going to be stronger and should have a longer lifespan than your factory soft rubber bushings. Now pricing for the kit is going to come in at about $400, which places them about in the middle of the category. Now these will cost you more, of course, than non-adjustable arms, but they do still undercut some other adjustable options out there. So they're a pretty economical way to make an improvement in your Charger's ride and handling characteristics, and you're not really giving up anything with this either. So you can save a few bucks here and still get the result that you're after, and that, in my book, is always a good buy. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now the process is pretty simple. It's really just 2 bolts, but you are going to have to get up in there to access those bolts. It's also very important to remember that once you've got this done and got it back on the ground, go get a professional alignment done. Even if you are able to eyeball these arms into about the same place, a proper alignment is crucial to making the most of this modification. But enough of me preaching about it, let's head on out to the shop now and we'll walk you through the install process.
The tools you'll need for this project are an impact gun or a 1/2-inch drive ratchet, an 18mm socket, 2 18mm wrenches, a 24 and a 27mm wrench, and possibly a long pry bar.
Hi everyone, today we're installing a rear camber arm on our Charger, so let's get started with the uninstall of the stock arm first. So we're going to start out by removing this outer bolt here on the camber arm using our 18mm socket and an 18mm wrench. All right, now we're going to remove this inner bolt here. Now its clearances are a little tight to get in there, so you're actually going to need 2 18mm wrenches. If you've got an 18mm ratcheting wrench, it'll make life that much easier. So we'll put it on a ratcheting wrench on the nut, and then we'll put our other 18mm on the bolt side. Now we can just reach in, push our bolt out the other side, and then reach in behind the spring to finish pulling it out. And then once you've got your bolt out, you can just pull the arm straight out. Now, as you can see, there is a difference in the length of our control arms. The new one that we're installing is adjustable. So what we're going to do is adjust it to the same length as this one here. Now, yours is going to be a little bit different, most likely, depending on your system setup, whether or not you've got a lowering kit or something like that. So what we're going to do, just to be able to get this to the alignment shop, which, by the way, you are going to need as soon as you get this installed, take it to the alignment shop, get it aligned so everything works properly. So we're just going to take our bolts that we took out earlier and insert them through both of the control arms. Now, obviously, this one is not going to go through the hole in the original one, so we're going to have to adjust it. To adjust it, you can just turn the outer end out and then go the other way with the middle nut to make up the rest of the difference. Now, as you can see, we've got them pretty well matched up now. So now what we can do is go ahead and tighten down our nuts to lock it into place. Now, one thing you do want to be careful of is you don't want more than 3/4 of an inch on either one of these bolts in here, because then you're getting into an area where it could be dangerous and could cause failure. So once we've got it adjusted, we're well within that 3/4 of an inch. Now you can use your 27mm wrench to go ahead and tighten down the middle one to the bottom one, and then your 24mm wrench for the top one. Once you've got everything locked in place, now we can go ahead and install the new one back on the vehicle. Now we'll install the non-adjustable end on the inside here, and then reusing the original bolt. Now we'll get everything lined up and slide our original bolt all the way through. And we'll loosely attach our nut till we get the other end in. All right, now to install our outer one, as you can see, the holes don't quite line up because things shifted when we removed the original arm. So now you can use a pry bar or a floor jack if you got your vehicle on jack stands, and just lift up on this lower control arm a little bit till things line up. And then again, we'll just loosely attach our nut. And now we can go ahead and tighten everything down. Now we'll tighten down our outer bolt using our 18mm wrench and our 18mm socket. And now you can repeat that whole process for the other side. And remember, once you're done, make sure you take this in and get in alignment so that everything works the way that it should.
And that wraps up our review and install of the adjustable rear upper camber arms for your 11 to 23 Charger. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Charger, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.